So tell me about this room. Where are we? Like, what is all this stuff here?
Well, this room has a very, very long story. We're right at the heart of BMW M in Garching, Munich. And this room is a very special one because 30 years ago it started as the manufacturing room for the first M3 DTM cars. So this was a pure racing build room. Nowadays we use it as a M-specific room for showing special cars. And for instance, today we do have 5 special cars here that never saw the markets. They saw the light of day though, because those are the 5 they officially talk about. Right. The rest are in Area 51.
There might be other ones, we don't know. What is an M car for you guys?
Well, for us, of course, an M car is about motorsports. It is about emotion, not only the way it looks, but also the character of the car. That's what brings emotion to a car, character and looks, but also, of course, the fact, more technically, that it's got a lot of precision, agility and dynamics. That's the key issues for an M vehicle. And I'd say, to bring it at a very focused point, it's the ultimate driving machine.
Going forward though, what does an M car look like with the next generation of technologies coming out that enhance driving dynamics and things like that?
I think important for M is that it keeps its character. I think the M3 is a perfect example because it's already in its 5th generation. And if you look at the character of an M3, it has always been an M3, but there has been a 4-cylinder engine, there has been an 8-cylinder high ref engine, currently we have a 6-cylinder turbocharged engine, high ref. But it's not so much about the specific technology, it's about the character of the car. And the technology has to fit to the overall vehicle concept and character to fulfill this purpose. So to say there will be a special technology in the future that will make M an M, it should be the other way around. M will stay the M, and also an M3, for instance, in the year 2030 will be an M3 regarding character. What kind of technology will be in there? I cannot tell you right now. And also how it will look like. It will look like you expect in the 30 years of this decade.
Can you quantify in some way the effect that M has had not only on BMW but on sports cars in general?
Well, I think M set an icon on the road with the M3 regarding racing and regarding street cars, and I think the whole high performance segment is still closely looking at M3. What is the M3 doing? Where is it going? What kind of technology is in those cars? So I think it is an important part of the high performance segment and plays a big role. It doesn't mean that the whole segment is doing the same thing, but I think it brings a strong input regarding technology and characteristics into the segment.
How does M coexist with, say, an autonomous car future?
Well, we see autonomous driving as a very good add-on feature for M cars. It might sound a little bit strange, but we were, with the M2, we were in Laguna Seca for the press test drives on the track. And we were there for quite a long time, but eventually you have to go home and you fly from San Francisco airport. So we took a very nice car, an M6 Cabriolet, and drove all the way up on the highway number 1 along the coast, but it was a Friday afternoon, so the road was really stuck with traffic. And we had a perfect view, but we always had to watch out because it was going, stopping. There, really an autonomous driving feature would have been really nice. So I think also in the future, if that feature is available for slow-moving traffic or traffic jams, it might be really helpful to relax and let the car drive itself, because it's no fun anyway. But as soon as the road clears up, or if you're on the track, you're driving yourself.
And it would be kind of nice to take a nap on the way back from the racetrack.
That
right?
will be perfect.
Exactly. Is there any way to look at the effect that M had on BMW cars in general?
Well, I think M being one of the 2 bookends of BMW Group, M on one side and Project I on the other side, those bookends also have the role of bringing impulses into the core brand BMW itself. And the role that M plays is, of course, the role of being the ultimate driving machine. So bringing dynamics into the brand, bringing new ideas regarding performance and dynamics also to the brand. So that was the role and still is the role and will also be the role in the future for BMW M.
So you can branch out and do other kinds of things and still have the core principles of the ultimate driving machine intact inside there.
Yes, that's the idea.
So Chris and Matt and I have been looking at this photo, right? Have you seen the Hans Stuck photo, the classic shot of the 3.0 CSL catching air at the Nürburgring?
I think everyone knows that picture because it was one of the most emotional pictures that says more than anything you can explain about what's the fun of race driving. And Hans Stuck being a really good driver and a famous one, I think he also, you couldn't see his face, but the way I know him, he's still relaxed even though he's got a complete lift off. But I think for us, it also shows what M stands for, because if you do something like that, you should have a car that is giving you a really good overall confidentiality, that you say, I know exactly what the car is doing, it's very precise, I know what it's going to do when something happens, and that was always one of the main philosophies of M. And I think that's also something we see when we look at that picture, seeing a guy having a lift-off but feeling perfectly comfortable because he knows what's going to happen and he's really pushing it. So it's emotion, it's motorsports, and it's the strongest letter in the world.
So in America, before M cars came around, there was really nothing like, a sports sedan that behaved like a sports car that you could drive on a twisty road and was also great on the highway. I mean, to me, that's the influence of M in America, but is there another influence that you see of M in the auto industry around the world?
Well, it's always difficult to tell what's the chicken and what's the egg, but if we look at the M models, I think the M1, the M3 and the M5 were definitely icons that changed the world in the segment, because after those cars came, there were a lot of additional cars from other manufacturers also coming to the market, because the segment was there. People were waiting for something like that, but maybe not everyone knew exactly what he or she was waiting for. And I think those cars gave the answer to already long posed question, probably.
Yeah, a functional sports car that you could use on a daily basis, like actually sit in and have people come with you when you go places, and also be amazing to drive. I mean, it seems like such a simple concept now, but you look back in the late 70s or early 80s, I mean, that wasn't a universal premise.
Yeah, I think it was, at those days, it was more either or. Either you have a sports car or you have a car that can be used on an everyday basis. And I think with the concepts, especially M3 and M5, for the first time you could have a sports car that also performs on the racetrack like a sports car, but at the same time has a certain amount of everyday usability, and that was new.